Hi everyone, it's Sintang Mayumi. I have a birthday card for you today. This is not Christmas card, but I wanted to share how I made my husband's birthday card. His birthday was the day after Halloween. The stamp sets I use is from Kindred stamps and it's called The Next Space Explorers and Space Explorers. I mounted my images that I want to use on my Stamp Perfect and I will ink them up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I will emboss them with WOW clear embossing powder and melt the powder with my heat tool. And I will color my images using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I did cut some parts of the ship using my craft knife before I color it. I added eyebrows on my image using a black Sharpie pen. I will also fussy cut them with my scissor and leave a tiny white border around the images. For my background, I use my Daniel Smith watercolor paints to create a galaxy background. I want my nebula on the left side of my panel and my ship on the right side. The colors I use are Telu blue, green shade, quinacridone purple, bordeaux, sodalite genuine, and I added black from my Pentel Arts watercolor paints. I lay down some water on my panel before I add the colors and dry them in between. I do this until I achieve the galaxy background I want. And here is my finished background. I added white speckles on my galaxy background using white color from my pentel paints. I made sure my panel is dry before I add the speckles. I used an old toothbrush and I did it in my bathtub because I know it will go everywhere if I do it on my desk. I will trace the cutout from my ship on my panel using white gel pen so I can see it, and I will use my craft knife to cut them out. And those are the places where I want my lights. So here is my panel right now. I cut it off camera because my surface that you see is just white paper. I have black cardstock also the same size as my panel, and that is where I'm going to create my light circuit. I will trace the holes from my panel to the black cardstock again so I know where to put my lights. I got my copper tape on Amazon. I will leave a link on this specific tape in my description box below. This one is cheaper than the other one I've seen on Amazon. I'm also going to use 3-volt coin battery. Any 3-volt coin battery will work, but this one that I have is thinner and it's the CR2016. I got the battery from my local grocery store. I will cut a scraps of paper to 3 inches by 1 inches and fold it in half. This paper is where my battery will go and I will place it inside the fold. I will adhere the paper using glossy accents and place it on the upper left corner on the black cardstock. I will write my plus and minus signs on the folded paper. My positive sign will be in the inside and negative sign will be on the outside. I draw lines for my circuit. As you can see, I use pencil, but I will go over it later with white gel pen so I can see it better. The circuit lines need to be where your lights will go, and they also need to be a little bit closer. I will cut my cover foil tape in half because I only need 1/8 inches wide and my copper tape is 1/4 inches wide. After I'm done cutting my copper foil tape in half, I will adhere it where my lines are. I was so careful adhering the copper foil tape because it is so thin and can rip easily. I have a hard time adhering the tape on the corners, but using my bone folder, that made it easier. And just cutting the release paper as I go so it's not in my way. After I adhered my copper foil tape, I will varnish it with my bone folder. I use Chibitronics LED circuit stickers and I also got this on Amazon. I will also leave the link of this one in my description box below. I used 3 yellow lights, 1 red, and 2 blue lights. The LED lights has letters printed on them so you will know what color it is. and it also has negative and positive printed on it. And using my tweezer to adhere them easily, making sure the lights are on the right placement on the circuit. I use the scraps of vellum from my stash and I will cover those cutout holes on the back of the panel. I will adhere my ship on the panel using glossy accents and just line it up where the holes are. I used 3M foam tape this time because I want my card to last a long time and I don't want it to fall apart later. And I did double up my foam tape here. After I'm done adding the foam tape, I will remove the release paper and adhere my panel on top of it. I use one of the sentiment from Space Explorer stamp set. I stamped the sentiment with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and emboss it with clear embossing powder on a vellum. I also stamped the circle fuzzy image from the set. I used my Memento Black marker to color the white edges so it looks seamless and color it with tattered rose and aged mahogany distress oxide inks using sponge dauber. I will right press here on the circle fuzzy image that I colored and I will adhere it on my panel so my husband knows where to press to see the lights on the ship. I will also adhere my sentiment on my panel and just add a dab of glossy accents behind the letters so the glue won't show. I colored the other image off camera with my zig markers. He is not on my plan to use on my card, but because the sentiment I'm using inside the card is his language, so I include him. And I'm not going to say the sentiment because I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, so I asked my husband how to say it, and here you go.
Koslige, dativ judge.
My husband is good on pronouncing words like this. I don't have the voice or talent. So what I'm doing here is I added some dry adhesive on this panel and I will adhere it in the inside of my card. And my card base is black cardstock, and this is I think 110 pound that I got from Joann's. And I will add strong double-sided tape on the back of my panel and I will adhere it on my card base. And lastly, I use my Spectrum North shimmer pen on the fuzzy bowl thingy and on my ship. And my card is finished. I love making interactive cards like this. I made a Halloween card like this last time. I will link that one in my description box below so you can check it out as well if you haven't seen it yet. But my husband loves this card that I made for him and I hope you like it too. And I hope the tutorial is easy to follow. As always, thank you so much for always watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. I hope you like today's card, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.